Hello, everybody, and welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
Boom, baby. Let's go.
And this is show number 40. Adam, it's the big one.
It's the big one, Clark. This is the one we've been waiting for. This is the one we've had circled. And, hey, we didn't want to get premature to get to this game and talk about this game. We talked about it in little small segments. But, Clark, now's the time to get focused, to get ready, to break down this game. And for a week full of nothing but Tennessee hate, baby. And I love to hate Tennessee, baby.
Tennessee. I do, too. I hate them, too, Adam.
Golly.
All right, this episode will be a little bit different. Here's how we're going to do it, Adam. We're going to start with the intro, as per usual, talk about the atmosphere from the Georgia-Florida game. We're going to break down that game offensively, defensively, and special teams.
That's right.
Then, instead of previewing Tennessee, we're going to talk about last week's pick'em. We are going to talk about last week's game of the week.
Yep.
We're going to pick these games this week. And then we will preview Tennessee at the very end and give everybody our score prediction.
I like it, Clark.
Does that sound good to you?
I like it. Hey, save the best for last, Clark, because it's going to be passionate. It's going to be emotional talking about this game, and it's something that I can't wait to bring to the table to talk about, man. And it's going to be fun. This is going to be a fun episode because we got to bask in the glory of another beatdown in Jacksonville that's becoming just such a great feeling, just a satisfying thing, Clark. It's just to float out of that stadium these days and knowing that we own that team.
Yeah. Adam, you know, this was one of the first years we have not smoked a victory cigar after a Georgia football win down in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Clark. I mean, we said, hey, let's just save them for next week, man, because, always good to beat Florida. And don't get us wrong, we will never take it for granted. And we will always soak and bathe and relish, Clark, relish in a Georgia win over Florida and Jacksonville, because there's not too many things in life finer than beating Florida Gators in Jacksonville, baby. But we said, hey, we're going to go ahead and go to the Chili's and get something to eat, or go to the drive-through somewhere to get something to eat. And, we'll save the cigar for next week when it used to be down there. That was, it's always a monstrous deal, but what I mean, Clark. It was a cigar game, but hey, we audibled on it being a cigar game, right, Clark, this year, and we're going to wait for another cigar game. That just shows where we're at as a program right now, man. What Kirby has done down there and in that series, we have talked about it, is the momentum has just been changed. 5 out of the last 6, baby, just like the Lord intended it for it to be down there. I love it.
Yeah. Georgia has won 26 of the past 27 football games. That number keeps growing as we continue to win. Yep. And, hey, I expect that number to go up another.
Just keep on rolling, baby.
This week.
Keep on rolling.
Ooh. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about the atmosphere. Adam, it was like, we've been saying this game is likely to be moved from Jacksonville to a home and away series. Yeah. It was nice, though, going down there. And just being with our friends and family. We have our traditions. We said that last week, and ate it down under. I had a good peeled shrimp. Adam, what'd you get at down under?
Clark, I went ahead and down under, I believe that night I got just the fish and chips.
Really?
Just a
generic?
Just a traditional fried cod, Clark. That's just really good fish and chips with some tartar sauce, man. And it was outstanding.
Good.
It was outstanding, man. I love down under. If anybody goes to Amelia Island down there, eat it down under. It's underneath the bridge. Hence, down under is not in Australia, you get that nice view up at the top. And what I love about it is the mystique of the restaurant, Clark.
Ooh,
it's I'm a huge fan of old school stuff in life, old school music, old school way of living, old school everything. And it's more of an 80s feel to it is what down under is, Clark. Kind of the structure is like it was straight out of the late 80s, and I love it. And it looks like it hadn't been touched since then. And it's great. I love it. It's a great place to eat. Everybody needs to go check it out.
Yeah. We tailgated. We had a big spread of food. What was your go-to item there at the tailgate, Adam?
My go-to item, Clark. I my whole weekend was the haystack things that your mom made. I don't know what you would describe.
We call them dog bark. They're actually praline. It has like
praline
brown sugar on graham crackers with pralines on them.
There you go.
Very good.
Yeah, a lot of good goodies, man. I think when I get on the scale, we're recording this on a Sunday night, Monday morning, I probably gained about 6 pounds. I'm expecting the over to be at 6 pounds of weight gained in the few days that we were down there, man, but I don't regret it. It was great. Everybody should just live and enjoy the moment that they are in. And if that means indulging and gorging on some food on a good road trip, man, do it.
Do it. Absolutely. We agree. Great time, good food. Hey, Georgia ended up winning this football game big.
It was domination. It was domination. I mean, we can talk about that third quarter and everything, but at the end of the day, when you look back at it and when you look at the series of events that led to what happened in that third quarter, man, Clark, I mean, anytime you go and you beat somebody by 3 touchdowns in the SEC and you lose a turnover margin, 3-0.
Yeah.
You're dominating that team, Clark.
That's a great point.
I mean, you look at what could have been done if some of the play was a little less sloppy, Clark. Some, there was some self-imposed just drive killers with some penalties and stuff, and then, of course, turnovers and some stuff that gave them some short fields and poor fundamental tackling on the defensive side of the ball, especially in that third quarter. I think that kind of led to where that game got to 28-20. But it was never in doubt. Me and you both talked about that, Clark. Like, we were never nervous.
Yeah, and you posed a great question. You said, when they came out of halftime, right, out of the locker room, when they came out of the locker room, then we got a good inside joke. We're not going to mention on this podcast. But anyway, when they came out of the locker room, I can't get past this.
When they came out of it, yeah.
Yeah, when we came out of it,
right.
You said, did they lose a little focus, maybe thinking that we had already had the game in hand and we were looking ahead of next week. I think you're right, Adam. I think some of our guys kind of checked out a little bit and we started to play not to lose, per se.
Yeah, I would say that, Clark. I would say that everybody was getting a little giddy, and and you got to give Florida credit, man. Honestly, and me too. I thought they were going to roll over. I thought after the Brock Bowers reception like that, they were just going to throw their hands up in the air and just roll over, Clark. To be honest with you, but good on Billy Napier and that staff, Clark, coming out and winning the third quarter, man, with a big moral victory in Gainesville. I'm sure the Florida message boards were lit up with positivity on winning the third quarter, 17-0.
Yeah, I told Caitlin they got the first interception. I remember the guy picked it off. He went to the sideline, took the marching stick that the band director or leader uses, marching onto the field or whatever. He did his little dance or whatever.
He did
do a dance.
That. How did I not see
it? Was on the jumbotron. But anyway, I turned to Caitlin and I said that kid will be able to tell his grandson one day that he was. He got a pick in a game where he lost by 22 points. So
That's good for him. Good for him, man. Good for him. Yeah, man. Absolutely, Carl. Absolutely. So, we talked about it. How's the only way that we could lose this football game? How you can see George losing. We talked about committing just errors and losing, the penalty yardage, just eating us alive, and then losing the turnover battle, and then and they did that. And they still won by 22 points.
Right.
Now, what do you say? Yeah, you don't obviously want to see that play become a trend.
Yeah,
that type of play that was there and. Make it a weekly thing that you turn the ball over 2 or 3 times, because that's going to get you beat in the Southeastern Conference more times than not, is when you turn the ball over that many times, Clark. And, but hey, maybe it's out of their system after that and you still win the game by 3 touchdowns and,
I think all these problems, too, that we showed in that third quarter are fixable. I don't think it's much of a concern. But anyway, hey, before we talk more ball, Adam, give us that weekly concession stands report.
Hit it, baby. Weekly concession stands report, Clark. We went over there, and I just talked about how I gorged all weekend. So I ate good at the tailgate.
Yes.
Ate good at the tailgate, the chicken nugget tray.
Yeah.
Got my 8 chicken nuggets, man, and ate good there and whatnot. So Kelsey and I, we decided we were going to get us a bag of Cajun roasted boiled peanuts and regular peanuts.
Okay. So
pretty good packaged. Boiled peanuts at a roadside stand in rural Georgia, I think, is the best boiled peanut that you can get. And your mother's make a good boiled peanut. Your mother makes
and Jess McNeil.
And
of course, he grows peanuts. Shout out to Jess.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is the best boiled peanut is not a packaged pulled peanuts. So therefore, when you get them at that kind of venue, that setting is not great. But the Texas Roadhouse traditional, just peanut was good.
The roasted peanut?
Yeah, the roasted peanut was good.
That's good,
so
Adam.
I ate some roasted peanuts, man, and it was good. It was good.
I tell you, on the other side of the same, we didn't get anything. Caitlin and I didn't get anything. I don't like to eat at football games. I'll typically get 2 bottled waters. That's my order.
Right.
But Katie and Ian, shout out to them. They're good friends of mine, friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
They got Adam some chicken nachos.
Really?
And they look good. They smelled really good. I smelled them before I saw them.
Good.
And man, they look good.
I bet, man, I would spill a plate of chicken nachos like you get at the local Mexican joint, like all over me at a football game. I know for a fact, man. You know, because with the nachos cheese that you get, I got to get the side cup.
Right.
And be very careful with it with the dip on the side cup. You know, not smothered and covered.
Oh man!
So good concession stands. Guess, man, you know,
been better.
It was okay, absolutely, very very pedestrian.
Oh,
very mediocre. Especially for a pro venue, man, you expect better.
Yeah.
Definitely not up to the Ben's part. I'd say level. So,
okay.
Yeah. As far as service and prices, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So.
Well, let's talk some ball, Adam. Let's go to the offensive side of the football.
All right.
I want to say one thing. Our offensive line played really well.
Dang right, Clark.
Yeah.
Get off Stacey
great,
baby.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, I'm excited about that. That was good. I feel like we had some guys out there, made a few shifts at the tackle position, I thought. Made a few shifts at the guard. No, Devin Willock came in. He played really good there in the second half, I feel like. And, I mean, one thing, Georgia won both lines of scrimmage, and to win football games in college football, and especially in the Southeastern Conference, Clark, you got to win the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Baby. So Georgia did that, man, and I was very proud. I personally thought, Clark, there in the second half that the offensive line played the best and looked the best that they have the whole entire year. Am I too far-fetched for saying that?
No, I really
think
so. The third quarter, I mean, there were some big mistakes that didn't really have much to do with the offensive line. No. But, yeah, I mean, definitely fourth quarter, we definitely imposed our will, ran the football really well. I mean, there were a lot of running lanes open. I sat in the end zone, and I think you did too, right?
Yeah.
And you could just see, I love sitting in the end zone because you just see those holes just open.
Gape.
Yeah.
Just gaping holes.
Yeah. And, you know, that's something we're going to have to do. Yeah. And we've been saying this, something we have to do this upcoming week against Tennessee. Yeah. We've got to be able to move bodies on the defensive line and get to that second level with football. So shout out to them. You know, I don't even think they allowed a sack. I think there were some pressures sometimes with Stetson. And, hey, Florida's front seven is pretty decent. I'd say they're respectable. One guy that got his tail kicked
you
on the
dang right, Clark. Go ahead and talk about it.
Brenton Cox.
Go ahead and talk about it.
I loved watching him get his tail whooped in the end zone.
Saw him completely whiff a couple times. My favorite play of the night, Clark, and I love going back to watch that video, watch Kirby's reaction and everything, is the last score there when Kenny McIntosh scored on the goal line, and he drug Brenton Cox for 3 yards there, I think, 2 or 3 yards at least, and Brenton Cox just kind of, I don't know, he was mouthing at him, and then the whole team came over, the whole offense came over, got in Brenton Cox's face, and he threw a punch and everything, and you know, Kirby hit him with the boom.
Yeah,
the boom.
And the boom.
It was just good. It was just good getting in their face and just knowing that Brenton Cox was never up to the Georgia standard, was never going to be a guy that, with his attitude, his work ethic and everything, I just don't think I've never seen anything as far as what the work he puts in, his attitude, anything. It's fair to say I have a large sample size on it from the outside looking in to think that he would have been a guy that could have fit in Kirby's program and the Georgia standard that is now in Athens, man. That's why he is in Gainesville, Florida, and that's why he just lost the second straight year to Georgia by 20+ points.
And was a
non-factor in it. All the talent in the world, and you know, and a guy who ran his mouth during the off season. And what did Georgia
multiple times too? It wasn't just a one-off thing. I mean, he went to Twitter, he went to Instagram, and it's not like our guys don't see.
You know what Georgia did about it, though? They kept their mouth shut and they carried a big stick. Clark.
That's it, Adam. Is that Teddy Roosevelt?
That's Teddy Roosevelt. Okay, yes, sir. That is one of the better U.S. presidents I feel like we have had. Mr. Teddy Roosevelt himself, a guy who loved the outdoors, just a man's man, I think, Clark.
A man's man. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
I'll tell you who else is a man's man. Brock Bowers.
Did you like that transition? I love that, baby. That was good. That was good.
Golly, I mean, he keeps proving that he is the #1 tight end in the nation. The catch he made is unreal, but let's talk about his other plays, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
talk about it.
He really... And his versatility on the offensive side of the football, he's going to be a weapon in the NFL. I mean, I'm glad we have him now, and we'll have him for one more year after this.
Right.
Assuming he does not get hurt. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood on that, Clark.
God forbid that happen. But, Brock and I think Darnell is becoming more of a pass catcher too. We need that.
He had a couple drops. Yeah. That's all right, but still, man, his presence out there. I think it was one of those things, one of those drops. There was a Florida DB that was coming out, and if Darnell would have caught it in stride, would have killed the guy.
Yeah.
Ran him straight over. So I think maybe it was just divine intervention for that Florida player's safety that he just didn't get absolutely just destroyed, that ball was dropped.
Or hurdled.
But yeah, or hurdled, but nah, in all seriousness, Clark, I mean, when you have those two out there, they're threats, Clark, and they could just make miraculous catches in a sense of just throwing it up, and they can make a play, Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington. But you got to be careful with that, Clark. A lot of times, there was some balls thrown into some double coverage that a little bit too confident, I feel in some sense that, just my personal opinion of it, that you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with that. You got to be smart with some decision making, man. But overall, good day through the air, Clark. I mean, 555 total yards of offense. You can't complain about that in Jacksonville.
We had 316 passing yards and then 239 rushing yards. And then 6.0 yards per carry on the ground. So that's good. I mean, good numbers.
I mean, Clark, here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. And I heard some more people, Stetson's just not a good quarterback. All this stuff, man. Look, here's the deal. He has done enough for Georgia, more good than he does bad.
Exactly.
And he's, putting up ridiculous. One of the best, I would say this is probably going to go down as one of the best Georgia offense in history, Clark.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times has he thrown over 300 yards passing?
That's been a lot this year.
And, of course, he's got just good guys out there around him and everything. But, he makes the plays he needs to make, Clark. And, and anybody. I feel like everybody's favorite player, Clark, on a football team is the second string quarterback.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And just put it to bed. Stetson Bennett is not getting benched for Carson Beck. My gosh, I cannot believe we are this late in the season after last year still talking about this stuff. Can people always get better? Yes. I'm not saying it's just flawless out there, but he is the guy. He is the guy who has won big time football games at Georgia and has more big time football games to win in the tank, Clark. He's the guy that they're going to be riding with, and he's the guy that as a fan base we're going to be riding with. And I can't wait to see what happens next Saturday, Clark.
I love it, Adam.
But I don't know. Did you hear that chatter too? That's kind of
all over the bench, Twitter and Facebook. Facebook warriors are the worst about Stetson Bennett. I'm not even going to get into that.
No, don't.
But Stetson didn't have a great game. I think he would be the first person on the football team to admit that. Yeah, he did make some good throws, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, there were some good balls.
There's some questionable throws,
and he had some balls that were dropped, Clark.
Right.
I know just off the top of my head, 3 drop passes, 2 by Darnell, 1 by Ladd there, and miscommunication on a flea flicker with Ladd McConkey. I don't know, with the post route, and he broke it off instead of, I guess, a straight go there on the flea flicker. I don't know, just miscommunication there. Yeah. But they come back to him, man. He scores a touchdown or gets to the one. I can't remember what Ladd. Well, that was a touchdown, wasn't it?
Yeah,
a little tunnel screen. Yeah, a little tunnel screen there. He barely got in, broke the goal line there. So yeah, man, I like how this team, Clark, handles adversity, the maturity of that just to come back in these places,
And like you mentioned, we did turn the ball over 3 times, and it could have been about 5. If you watch that game closely, there was one on the first drive. Stetson overthrew somebody. Yeah, and it literally fell into the safety's hands.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying, man. You got to be careful with some of the placement.
Right, but you win some and you lose some of those turnovers. Yeah. And we still won by 22. So that's promising.
That is amazing.
We can clean that stuff up.
You win by 35 points at least, or even more. Definitely,
you definitely cover
points. Yeah, if you clean that up,
right?
So,
Dejon, he looked good, Adam. I think
he did. Yeah,
he is emerging as Georgia's best running back? Is that
I'm telling you, man. We talked about it on the call-in show last Friday night. We were asked about Dejon Edwards, what we thought about him. High motor guy, Clark. We love them high motor guys. A guy who always ran hard when he got his turn to carry the rock, Clark. And somebody I think, man, who has made an impact this year, had average 9 yards a carry.
Right.
This past Saturday against Florida, broke off about 3 runs, 20+ yards, I believe. I think that's right. And right. Just a guy who really did good. And again, credit the offensive line who really got a good push, moved some people around, man, and opened up some holes for these guys to run. Kenny McIntosh, Clark, I felt like that was the best response you could have when you have something that doesn't go your way. When adversity hits you in the face, Clark, what'd he do? He stepped up and he punched it right back, baby. He hit it straight back in the jaw, and you know what he did? And he ran like a man possessed after that,
I
Clark.
agree.
So that is the way that you do it. You don't sulk, you don't put your head down, and don't let it become a mental case. You go out there and you let it just tick you off enough, Clark. You go out there and you do what Kenny McIntosh did, baby. That is run the football down their throat. I love seeing Georgia when they get to rolling and they get to running downhill and they just impose their will when it's late in the game, especially in Jacksonville, and you're just firing on all cylinders on that offensive line, and they know you're going to run the football, Clark, but they can't stop it.
Yeah. Boom. Kenny Mack and Dejon both had 2 touchdowns. Good on them. Hey, Branson Robinson ran hard too. He's a great back.
Oh yeah, going to be a good freshman. One for us. Going to be a good one. For us.
He reminds me of a bowling ball, and the defenders are just pins.
Yeah.
They just bounce off.
He's just a guy, Clark, that I feel like puts in a lot of good work in the weight room. A lot of good guy and with some agility. Everything. So I think just a guy who overall just a good high side to him potential.
Does he have a high motor at him?
Yeah, he's got a high motor, Clark. He's got a high motor.
Oh man,
love that.
Yeah, oh man, we've covered a lot of offense. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I think just some guys. Definitely got to clean the turnovers up. Going forward with the games we got left, you can't expect to win them and have the kind of performance there today. But obviously, everybody knows that. Definitely, the team knows that. Everybody and their brother knows that, Clark. But you got it done, man. You really dominated the first half of the football game, and you eliminate those penalties. And then it's like, man, when it got 28-20, them guys were all right. Let's go. Let's stop playing around. Let's go. Right. Almost. And then when they locked in focus, they went down, they scored a couple times, and then ran the clock out and just imposed their will. Both sides of the line of scrimmage, offensive line did their job, man. And, it's a good offense. I'm not going to complain anytime you put up 42 points in Jacksonville and you put up 555 yards of total offense, Clark. Point blank, period.
You're going to win a lot of football games if you're putting those numbers.
And then you turn the ball over. You give them 3 free possessions. You turn the ball over 3, kill drives, 3 turnovers.
Right.
That's insane, Clark.
Yeah.
That's insane to still do that. So, got to clean that up. But, hey, I love it, baby. Love it.
Good showing for the offense. Defense, I thought overall, take out the third quarter.
Yeah.
It was a good showing too.
I think Clark, we both mentioned they came out, man. They got some good penetration, Clark.
They really did.
They got a good push on the defensive line, man. Got some pressure, and they did. They pressured Anthony Richardson all day long, Clark. All day long. And look, there's difference in sacking a quarterback and pressure. And quarterback hurries. Quarterback pressures. And what they did was they were able to consistently pressure Anthony Richardson all day long, make him uncomfortable. Really stout up the middle run defense as well, Clark. Getting a good push, and a good reason of that. By how great was it to see number 88 out there? Yeah, number 2 too. But seeing number 88 back there inside that defensive interior there was good to see. Played majority 3rd down and 4th downs, Clark, but did a really good job out there and caused some havoc. On the inside, man. And I felt like the defense was playing really well when Nolan Smith went down. I'll just say it. There's a drop off of that position, Clark, and I think Florida saw that. And a guy who was at that position who was banged up in his own right. A guy who had missed some time, and when you're dealing with a hamstring injury, that's tough. But they saw that, and you got to give Billy Napier credit. They ran it straight towards that guy every single time, and the tackling wasn't there. The thing that sticks out on the negative side about this defense, Clark, is I feel like the tackling was not to the Georgia standard. And has to be cleaned up.
I remember one play, Jamon, and I love Jamon Dumas-Johnson, and he is a sure tackler. But there seems like a lot of times where our guys are flying. They have so much speed, and they don't know how to control that speed. That's one thing last year. You saw a lot of guys, it was a lot more team tackling. You saw guys breaking down, shimmying their feet, getting wide, and get wide and
watching that hip.
Right. Watching that
hip. Not the upper body, watching that hip.
Yeah. So that stuff will get fixed. I believe
it will, man.
That's going to be a big point of emphasis this week.
You got to, man. You can't miss big tackles like that, man. You got to bring guys to the ground, and I think the quarterback this week will be easier to bring to the ground as far as getting as physicality standpoint goes, Clark.
Yeah, I don't know though. Hendon can
run you over.
He's physical. He's physical. I don't know about Anthony Richardson.
He's not Anthony Richardson physical. I'm not saying that he's just going to sit back in the pocket. You can feast on it by any means. He's a quick guy who's really good in open space running the football. We're going to get to this, but I don't think he is going to truck you.
I don't know. Not any of our guys.
He's not going to. I don't think Hendon Hooker is going to truck you. Now he might give you give you one of these numbers. A little shimmy there, and then a little shimmy back that way, and then leave you with a broke ankle or two, and then make his way up the field. But I don't think he's just going to punch you out, single you out, and come and just literally just bulldoze over you, Clark. Thank you. I don't think that'll happen.
We need to get you on video showing and demonstrating what the shimmy this way, shimmy that way looks like.
Yeah. We can do that. We can do that. So, anywho, we'll get to that. You can just stay where it is to get to that. But
I know. Yeah. We held Florida to 100 rushing yards. Part of that may have been due to the fact that AR was hurt. I don't really buy that because third quarter he was running the football more.
Yeah, it's like they just decided, hey, we're going to try to run. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't give it.
Yeah, that's coming from I'll just call him out. Chris Johnson was trying to make excuses.
Yeah, I think old Gary Danielson on CBS Sports said that too, from what I heard too. That opening play, they tried to call it a dirty hit when he was still in bounds on that opening drive, that third down play. I think it was Javon Bullard maybe.
Okay.
Got a helmet on his thigh or something.
Hey, Javon, I don't know, man. Javon had a pretty big game too. He had a lot of tackles.
He did, man. And we've talked about it, Clark. These young guys, they're growing up.
They are.
Growing up. So.
Secondary does have me a little worried at it, if I'm being completely honest. Kamari Laster and Malachi Starks have got to grow up a little bit.
We're going to talk about it, Clark. We're going to talk about it. I've said it all year. And everybody's tired of hearing me because I think I've talked about it multiple times on every podcast. Where are you on football team, Clark? we got to get some guys some reps. They got to grow, man. The bye week's going to be good. Get some additional reps. It's time to be a grown man, Clark. It's time to be a grown man now. This week, it's time to grow up. Now at the time of we're growing up, it's time to grow up this week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But hey, defensively, we gave up 20 points, but once again, that third quarter, and the problem with that was our offense fumbled the ball, within our own 50. Tough, so it's tough to defend that short side of the field there when you have turnovers in your own 50. So moving forward, just eliminate all the turnovers, Dogs. That would be super helpful, especially this upcoming week.
Yeah, man. Definitely when you give an offense short field position like that, and then especially when it's multiple times in a short amount of span like that, and momentum is just rolling somewhere, and then you have some of the stuff that was happening as far as when they were getting some yards on the edge, running the ball off tackle, that kind of deal. You'll have that, but overall, they bowed up when they had to, man, and the offense did, and that's what you got to have, man, but that's going to be the theme of this episode is you can't be losing to turnover margin 3-0 going forward.
If you want to win,
Exactly.
All right, special teams didn't have to punt the ball much. I think we punted 3 times maybe. Thorson had some down within the 15, I want to say.
Yeah.
Good punts there. Jack Pod was 6 for 6 on PATs. No field goals attempted.
Nah, that's what you want, baby.
That's exactly what you want.
I love 6 PATs because you know what that means. That means we're putting at least 42 points on the board.
Exactly. And Adam, here's something I did not realize. I looked this up today. We've been talking about Georgia's red zone offense and finishing in the red zone. And early on in the season, we weren't scoring touchdowns, but we actually are number 1 in the nation for red zone offense.
Really?
Yeah.
I never would have.
Now, not touchdown scored or whatever,
but
scoring
inside the 20 when you need to score.
I think we're about 97. Don't quote me on this, but we're close to 98%.
Good old Clark bringing in some numbers, baby. I love when you bring numbers to the table. Yeah, but that's good.
We're above Ohio State, or maybe we're tied with them for first.
That's good. That's good.
There you go.
That's good.
And then, Adam, too, this is a little tiny gripe of mine. Kickoff coverage, we just need to tighten up a little bit. Florida got a couple of good returns. That could be something that could bite us in the butt.
Just go ahead and kick it out of the back of the end zone, man. I know you want to pin them deep like that, but you can't give up cheap special team stuff like that with either good field position or worst case scenario, a score. I think you got to stay in your lanes, Clark.
Wrap
up a tackle. I know we could have. There was one of them was long Florida punt kickoff returns. I think it was MJ Sherman maybe had a play, just didn't break down. I feel like took a bad angle, have that, man. But yeah, I agree. You definitely can't be letting teams, especially next week, start off with good field position. At the 45, 40-yard line, man, already. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the special teams what they come up with this upcoming week. Are they going to try to kind of sky one and set up for a return at the 1-yard line, or are they going to go ahead kicking in the end zone and either dare them to come out of the end zone or touch back and go ahead and start the drive there. So.
Adam, I'm going to say this right now. There's going to be a big special teams play this upcoming week. I don't know if it's going to be a block field goal.
Punt, baby.
A block punt would be amazing. What does a block punt do?
Crack it after.
It's okay. We understand.
It gets high. It gets high. It's okay. Cracks like after I got a sore throat.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll talk about that later on too. But what did you say? What a block punt does?
What happens when Georgia blocks the punt? Like, what do you do personally?
I get ramped up. I'm going to punch somebody next to me. Like, just punch
let's hope it's not your wife, Kelsey.
Get fired up.
Let it be my shoulder, not hers.
And then just jump over the wall wherever. Or like I had an aisle seat Saturday night, and I run up the aisle, and I find just rowdy fans, usually some who are a little bit inebriated, and I give them a hug, and I grab their head and just give them a good head pat or something, and then I give a boom like this, like a boom, like that type deal. But I love a block punt, man. I love the momentum. I love hearing that ball meet hand, and then the scurry to the ball, and then just the jubilation that ensues after that. So.
Oh, Adam, that was a great description there. Yeah, hopefully we get a block punt. That would be amazing. All right, last week's pick'em. We're moving on.
Oh, we're getting to the meat. We're getting to the meat of the show.
Ohio State at Penn State. Last week, man, Ohio State, they pulled away at the end, but it was close, Adam. This was a close football game in Happy Valley.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
Past 2 years ago in the fourth quarter games, man, I think I saw where James Franklin against top 5 AP teams in his career at Penn State's like 1-11. Couldn't happen to a finer individual. I think he is a terrible person.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you ever met the guy? No, that was very unfair of me to say.
That's okay.
I just don't think he runs a morally ethic program at Vanderbilt or up there. From the stuff I've heard, that was very unfair of me to say. Sorry, forgive me, but I just said it.
I think most people would agree with you.
Let me just rephrase it. I'm not a James Franklin friend.
There you go.
I'm just not.
Man.
Okay. Clark, this is upset. You called this next one.
I almost got this. It was looking really good when the score was 7-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Probably after one possession. Yeah. TCU at West Virginia. TCU did actually win this game 41-31, but it was closer than I guess some people.
Yeah, it was, Clark. Man, they almost got it. That was TCU, man. Watch out for them. I would love to know. I don't know who they got left. I guess they got Texas at least coming up on the schedule again. But, they're still undefeated, eyeing that Big 12 undefeated championship season and trying to claim a playoff spot. So it's going to be interesting to see where they're at when the playoff rankings come out. Where's TCU going to be at? What's the committee think of TCU? I think that's going to tell a lot, the initial ranking, where the committee is going to put TCU and where their regard is for them. Yeah. So, but hey, this next game you have in the pick'em, man, a rematch might be looming with them that might get them.
Yeah, Oklahoma State at Kansas State. My goodness gracious. Kansas State beat the mess out of Mike Gundy's football team 48-0.
Yeah, Clark. I missed that when I picked Oklahoma State because I have been picking against Oklahoma State because I was like, I just didn't think they were that good, but they just kept on winning and proving me wrong.
Right.
So I said, well, Mike Gundy, I'm not going to bet against him, but oh my gosh. They went to Manhattan, Kansas, and just got destroyed, man.
Man, there you go again. There you go again with naming the city of the college. Yeah. That's unbelievable. Manhattan.
Manhattan just got.
I didn't even know there was a Manhattan in Kansas.
Watch Kansas State win the Big 12, Clark.
That would be
They could get there, man. They could get there, so we'll see.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. All right, this game was great, Adam. And you called this one. The Alpha Nerd beats nice guy Shane Beamer, 23-10, Mizzou on top.
I felt like the Alpha Nerd, our friend Eli Drinkwitz, was really gunning for a big win, statement win. And I would love for there to be a little bit of a Drinkwitz Beamer rivalry. I just think they're in the same class category.
Yeah, they are.
I really would like for that to be something that, but Drinkwitz owns Shane Beamer. Clark. On South Carolina, actually 3-0 against them, but 2-0 against Beamer. Yeah.
Did you like do some fact checking before the show, or did you just see that on a graphic?
I saw it on an interview when a little picture popped up.
Okay.
That really just gave Eli was strutting. Oh, Williams was Bryce too. He was strutting in Willie B. You could tell. It was one of them, post game deals where the visor was kind of riding up the forehead.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like he'd been kind of, he'd been pulling, he'd been waving it around, getting excited, getting at him, and then just kind of placed it back on his head. You know, get what I'm saying? It wasn't
not really
like,
secure.
It wasn't in like a business position. It was in a let's freaking let it rip party position. Yeah. Is where that visor was. You know. Man. So Shane Beamer, I just think they got a little bit too high on the beating 3 and 4 Texas A&M and top 25, really feeling good about themselves. I think there was a lot of this going on in Columbia, South Carolina.
I was doing it for them.
A lot of patting on themselves on the back. Let me rephrase that. A lot of this patting themselves on the back, and then bam,
got beat.
Any given Saturday, man.
Yeah.
Any given Saturday. So great for the Missouri Tigers.
And then the last game from last week in D1 football, geez Louise, Kentucky at Tennessee. Adam, I thought this was going to be close. It was not even that. It was not close. It was 44-6.
Yeah, Clark. And when you talk about turnover margin, 3-0 in that game too, but 2 Tennessee. That's what Tennessee does. If you give them 3 extra possessions, they're going to smoke you, man. Will Levis did not look good. Strong arm, man. He's a guy I think has very high potential, maybe not be as good as what people were saying. But he's a guy in his defense that has been banged up for a while, but still nonetheless, 3 interceptions that he had. Under 100 passing yards, I think. That's what I read. And a terrible offensive line, not really good receivers around them. There's nothing around that Kentucky offense. That's why I said I don't think Kentucky would be able to run the football and control the tempo of the game because they did not have the offensive line to control that side of the line of scrimmage. Really on either side of the line of scrimmage, but especially on offense to try to slow the game down, which everybody says you need to do against Tennessee. Kentucky did not have that. And instead they go and they throw 3 interceptions, and that's what happens when you do that, Clark.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what happens when you do that. You get boat raced by 38 points. So
right.
There you go. That's my answer on that.
Yeah.
And, Tennessee capitalized, man. So,
Tennessee, man, they're looking good.
They are.
Hey, before we talk about them, let's talk about last week's game of the week. That we got the Utica University Pioneers. 20 at SUNY, Adam. We said that wrong. Okay. Rich Beck corrected us. SUNY.
So he'd heard of this.
Oh, yeah. He knows of SUNY.
Okay, all right.
SUNY Morrisville, 17. So 20-17, Utica on top.
Wow.
Marty the Moose. All hail Marty the Moose.
Bam. Big win, probably one on the last second field goal, I like to imagine.
Yeah, oh yeah. Okay. Storm the field.
It's a big win. Good on the Utica University Pioneers, baby.
Good on them.
Good.
Oh, man. All right, this week's Pick'em, we got a pretty good slate. Obviously, that we're going to save the game of the week.
Slate. Yeah. This is a big slate.
Yes. Starting off this
huge day in the Southeastern Conference, Clark.
Oh, yeah. And this game right here, is monumental.
Is it? Okay.
This is probably the primetime game. Kentucky at Missouri, 12 o'clock, SEC Network. I thought, why not? Mark Stoops going to old Alpha Nerd's homeland of Missouri.
Yeah. Going to Faroe Field, hostile environment, 12 o'clock. You want me to go ahead and pick, Clark?
Yeah, go ahead.
Give me the Missouri Tigers and the Drinkers, baby. I just don't think Kentucky's going to rebound. I think Levis is banged up. I think Missouri might be riding high, but not the riding high where they're going to overlook. The riding high that they're hungry, give me some more.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Adam, I'm going to stick with you. I'm not going to pick against old Drinkwitz anymore. Yeah, give me Mizzou 28 to 17.
There you go. I just kind of think the wheels are going to fall off Kentucky to end the season. I think obviously they got Georgia left. They'll lose that, and then I think they'll lose this one. And then I think they could lose to Louisville. I don't know, man.
I don't know about that.
I was really high on them, and I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
Yep. Another good game in the SEC.
This is an interesting game.
Yeah, yeah. Florida at Texas A&M, 12 o'clock, ESPN.
11 a.m. Central. I wonder how much tickets are to that game for Kyle Field to watch the 3-5 fighting Texas A&M Aggies.
They may just start letting people in for free.
I know they were $2 for the Ole Miss game.
Are you serious?
Upper level.
Oh, my gosh.
Upper level in the corner there, $2.
It's pitiful.
$2, man. I wonder what that. I wonder what them Texas oil people are thinking of their $1 million investments that they have right now on Jimbo and their players. Money can't buy everything, man.
That's true.
They can buy some stuff. Can't buy happiness. And, it could buy some guys on the football team. Can it buy chemistry, Clark?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Can it buy heart, Clark?
No.
Can it buy passion, Clark? Like a burning passion of this kid wants to be a Texas A&M fighting Aggie. He wants to go gig 'em. He wants to be at the midnight yells. East Texas blood just rain. He loves East Texas.
Right. I don't think you can find that with money.
You find that with money?
No, you can't.
Think you just go out there and buy that with guys and steal that in them? I don't.
So are you going with who are you going with in this game?
The Florida Gators. I'm going with in this game with Billy Napier, Anthony Richardson. Florida beats Texas A&M. It is an absolute clown show in College Station. I love it. I don't like Jimbo Fisher. I hate Florida. I hope Texas A&M wins, but I mean, give me the Gators, Clark. Why not? I mean, really?
Yeah, I'm actually going with the Gators too. I like Billy Napier more than I like Jimbo Fisher. Mm-hmm. Florida, hey, I will give them some credit too against us. They did not go away. I mean,
no, they didn't, man. I told you this, Clark, because we talked on the phone after the Bowers catch, and I said they're going to roll over and die.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
Yeah,
they came back, and that's good for a year one coach to have the locker room like that. I think it's completely different in a scenario where, of course, Napier has the buy-in from his team. I think he does. The respect for this group of guys, and Jimbo Fisher, no. So.
All right, here we go. Next game. Another good game, and this one actually is a good game in the SEC. Okay. Number 6, Alabama, and by the way, we're going by the AP poll here, at number 15, LSU, 7 o'clock, ESPN. This one's going to be a good one, Adam.
Yes, it is.
I think it's going to be a sneaky good one.
This is going to be a really, really good game. It looks like LSU starting to play some good ball here the past few weeks. It seems like they got some good quarterback play now that Jaden Daniels is actually playing some good football, man. Whether it's beating you with his arm and his legs, beat Ole Miss there, beat Florida in Gainesville, man. And I tell you got a bye week going into Tuscaloosa. Alabama, lost to Tennessee a few weeks ago, come back, beat Mississippi State. Not very impressive, but 30-6 win. I think it wasn't as dominant as what the scoreboard said the other week when they played them. But both teams off a bye, man, getting healthier. In Baton Rouge at night, Clark, some voodoo stuff happens in there, man.
That's true.
Especially in early November, there's a lot of witchcraft and voodoo stuff in that part of the southeast United States. Down in the swamp of Louisiana, old Maria Laveau, old Bobby Bear sings about, man.
Right.
There's some voodoo stuff that goes down in that swampland, and I don't know. I am not going to go with it being enough voodoo, though.
Oh, okay.
Alabama wins by one possession.
By one possession. Adam, I like that pick. I hate to keep going with you here. I want to go against the grain a little bit. I would love to pick LSU. My heart wants LSU.
Yeah,
I don't want Alabama to play in the SEC championship this year. I don't want to. I don't want them to even have a shot.
Yeah.
But I think they've been here before. They were here last year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, after they got beat by A&M, they rallied. They found ways to win. Adam, they're going to find a way to win this football game. It is going to be close.
I tell you what, Clark, man, I don't know. And then you start thinking about it. Last year, obviously, two different teams. LSU, completely different team.
Right.
Quarterback's not there anymore. That was there. The head coach isn't there. I think they improved in both aspects of that and kept it close in Tuscaloosa. And Clark, Alabama struggles on the road these past 2
Are you going to change your pick?
No, I'm not going to change it. But I'm saying that's why I truly think that it'll be about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and we're going to be saying,
everybody's going to be
watch out.
on the TV.
I really think it's going to be that kind of type of deal. But I would not be surprised if Alabama gets beat or hey, they got to go on the road to LSU and Ole Miss. Past 2 years in the Saban area, Alabama has not looked very good on the road in the SEC. So
ought to be interesting.
We'll see.
All right, number 5, Clemson at Notre Dame, unranked.
Sneaky game here.
7:30 NBC. Adam, this is a very sneaky game.
Yeah. Who are you going to go with?
Marcus Freeman's team does look a little bit better.
They just went up to Syracuse. Didn't they play at Syracuse?
They
go to the Carrier Dome?
And they beat the mess
out of Syracuse.
When you go
to the Carrier Dome and you beat the snot out of Syracuse.
That's when you know you're rolling, right?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's when you know you got a football team.
Maybe, you know what?
But then, on the other hand, you lose to a awful Stanford, David
You
Shaw
lose to
Stanford
Marshall.
football team, 16-14. You lose to Marshall. It's tough. So,
Adam, I really would love to see the Fighting Irish pull off an upset.
Last time, though, Clemson was up at Notre Dame. They lost.
That is true.
But DJ Uyunglele.
That was 19,
20,
correct?
20.
Oh,
COVID
20.
year, wasn't it? Yeah. It was COVID year. That's 20. It was 2020.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
So, yeah. So
that is a good point.
Yeah. So, man, I don't know. We will see. But I'm going with you, Clark. Give me Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson. I don't want to.
But yep.
Yeah. All right, FSU at Miami. I thought, why not? You know.
Great rivalry game, man. You know, two teams that are
emerging.
Really,
emerging a little bit.
Miami isn't, but I think Florida State is. Yeah, they think they are. You know, we'll see. Time will tell.
7:30 ABC.
Yeah.
Hey.
In Coral Gables, right?
Right, in the Orange Bowl.
All right. Great stadium, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
I love that stadium now that we've actually been there. I really think it's a very good stadium. Nothing but good things to say about Miami Gardens and that stadium.
It's very symmetrical, too.
That's
what I love about it.
Very unique design. Great parking, Clark. We talked about the parking, just a very large lot for parking. Right. I really like the concession stand prices, everything. They look, is good. So, yeah. I'm going with Florida State.
Okay, wow. Any reason why? Just
they're playing better. They're trending better. Miami just had a big overtime win against Virginia.
Ooh. See, I didn't know that.
By Middle Tennessee State, too.
Oh, man, I didn't know that.
Yep.
I was definitely going with Miami, but when you said that, you know what? I'll stick with Miami.
Oh,
Chris Johnson, you're the only reason I'm picking Miami in this football game.
All
right, number 20, Wake Forest at number 21, NC State, 8 o'clock, ACC Network. This was one of the only other ranked matchups.
This is a rivalry game. Yeah.
They're both in the state of North Carolina. Wake Forest is in North Carolina.
Yes,
right?
absolutely,
That's right.
Man.
Yeah.
Clark, this game here, man, I think you got two good coaches. I think Dave Doran at NC State and Dave Clawson at Wake Forest have been sneaky good at their respective programs over the past few years. NC State loses Devin Leary, was top 10 at a point in time this year, right, Clark? So kind of the wheels fell off a little bit there. Wake Forest had some good, barely lost to Clemson. Trending in a good little direction there, and they just got beat here recently. But still, give me Wake Forest to go to Raleigh and win.
Oh, Adam, I want to take NC State at home, night game.
Okay.
I haven't watched much of these two programs play this year, but from what I have seen of NC State, they haven't played bad football. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll stick with
right. Take them.
Take them. Hey, this is a little bit different.
This is it right
We're not doing the real game of the week. This is the alternate game of the week.
The alternate game of the week. This is the one. This is
the one that we should only be focusing on.
I love our game of the week.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. It's a good time. Everybody has a good time. It's just good, clean fun, right, Clark?
Right.
It's just a good time. It's nice to showcase these places, man, and show the pageantry and the passion of college football at all levels, from sea to freaking shining sea, Clark, right? Am I right?
Right.
From coast to coast, from Canada to Mexico. We love showcasing that, right, Clark?
Yes.
But we only got so much time in these episodes, do we, Clark?
That's right. We can't hold y'all's attention for much longer.
We got to talk about the Dawgs and the Tennessee Volunteers, Clark.
Yes.
And what is going to happen in Athens, Georgia on November 5th.
Woo! I'm excited, Adam. Georgia versus Tennessee, 3:30 CBS. Bling. Adam,
boom!
I feel so bad for the people at home having to watch this game and listen to Gary Danielson.
And I want don't sink in your television with Scott Howard or something.
Yeah.
Call your own game. Do not listen to that weasel talk about football, Clark.
Gary Danielson is a weasel.
He is
We're
a
putting
weasel
that on a
who's going
t-shirt.
to be all over Tennessee and Josh Heupel, and there's the dynamic offense and how Tennessee's back, and we don't want that. You don't want to listen to that, Clark.
No.
Boom! Big time football going to be played at Athens, Georgia.
Welcome to the freaking show.
Welcome to the show, Clark. That's right. Welcome to the freaking show, baby.
Oh, man. All right. Hey, Georgia leads this series, Adam, 26-23-2. We just claimed that edge, I guess you should say, a few years back. So
that's right,
we're
Clark.
finally ahead in this series for the first time ever.
Yeah, the 90s were rough.
Yeah,
the 90s were rough. I think they reeled off the whole decade there. And Georgia beat Tennessee in 2000, stormed the field, goalposts, all that stuff. And since 2000, consistently beating Tennessee, Clark. This series has been big. This series is one that Georgia has definitely owned, but Tennessee has gotten theirs, of course. But starting in 2000, when Donnan got over the hump against them, and then Rick came to his promise with the hobnail boot when we stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose. We just crushed their faces. Woo!
That was good. That was good synchronization there.
David Green brought us flying down the field, baby.
I don't know that part.
It's great. Good. So you do that, man, and then you reel off wins in 2002. You go to Knoxville and you beat the crap out of them. And dang, 2003 when Sean Jones took it all the way. Sean Jones all the way as time expired, and he picked it up and he ran it 95 yards and he had 6 blockers behind him. That's when that happened. We beat them 41-14. You lose in 2004. You go in and you beat them in 2005, baby, and win the SEC championship. You give up a 24-7 lead in 2006 at halftime to them. It was terrible. In 2007, we a big wide receiver reverse pass up in Knoxville got the best of us that day, Clark. And in 2008, we beat them. It wasn't impressive, but we beat them. We beat them in 2009 up in Knoxville with Lane Kiffin in his one and only year. Willie Martinez couldn't figure out that they were running out routes at 3 different levels, and Jonathan Crompton looked like Peyton Manning out there against us. It was god-awful. 2010, we go and we beat them 41-14 in Derek Dooley's first year. 2011, Clark, you remember that one up in Knoxville? Was that your first road trip to Knoxville?
Yes, it was.
We beat them at night there.
20-12.
That's right, 20-12. There you go. Where are we at now?
2012.
Keep on rambling. 2012, Clark.
It was a high-scoring
shootout with Tyler Bray and Derek Dooley. That's exactly right. 2013, we about died. We beat them in overtime. Pig Howard fumbled the ball on the 1-inch line and went out of bounds. Yeah. Aaron Murray left his heart in Neyland Stadium that particular day, Clark. God bless him. We lost about 7 people to snipers that day. Actually, the Neyland Stadium turf from knee injuries. 2014, Clark, was back in Athens, and we beat them.
We beat them. It wasn't a great game, but we beat them.
Yeah. We beat them. 2015, Clark.
Grayson Lambert.
Reggie Davis dropped a touchdown ball. We lose in Rocky Top, losing Neyland. Last time we have lost in Neyland Stadium. Georgia has 2016. We're going to skip over that. Now we're going to talk about what happened that everybody knows. 2017, 41-0 shutout that ended Butch Jones' career. Yeah. 2018, welcome to the freaking show, Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah.
No longer there.
Right. 19 spanked them in Neyland. 20 beat them by a few touchdowns in Athens. Right.
And then last year against Josh Heupel's welcome to the freaking show, Josh Heupel moment.
Yeah.
41-17?
17. Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't know if it's 41, but I do know they only scored 17.
It was something like, I think we got up in the 4, didn't we? It's something
yeah.
I just said that number and I had I can't
remember. Might be 42.
But what I loved about that, everybody was talking about Tennessee. I know you can't compare football teams, obviously, from one year to the next year. But what I loved about that, baby, is how's Georgia going to stop Tennessee's offense? They come flying down the field with a scripted offensive play, Clark, to open up that game, offensive series, and they drive down the field. But we adjust. That's what Kirby Smart and this defensive staff does, Clark, and made it happen. But anyway, that's the history. I didn't mean to go through that every year was amazing. This millennium, but we did it.
That was amazing. I greatly appreciate that. We all need that refresher. You know, but you're right, though. This has been a back-and-forth rivalry. This is a very good rivalry in the SEC that not many people talk about. You know, it doesn't have we haven't played as many times as we've played teams like Auburn or Florida. But this game, and especially moving forward, is going to be a lot of fun. This ought to be a very entertaining game. This Saturday, Georgia is currently, we just kind of said this, is on a 5-game win streak.
Yes.
College Game Day and SEC Nation are coming to Athens. They'll be making an appearance. Yep. Hey, and by the way, let's say this to Josh Brooks. Josh Brooks, like he's listening to this.
He should be.
Hey, we need a red pom-pom in every single seat in Athens, Georgia, in Sanford Stadium.
Yep.
Please. Yep. I will volunteer my time to go put out
I'll go carry a big cardboard box. Yeah. And if you even want me to put on a cheerleading uniform to hand them out, before the game.
A male cheerleading let's clarify.
Put them out then, man. I'll do it. I'll do whatever for the team, for university spirit, man.
I love that.
Just to really get a good rally, man.
Yes.
We need everybody just to rally this week, baby.
And
bring the intensity.
Agreed. Hey, I also expect one heck of a tribute to Vince Dooley.
Yeah.
We want to take a moment just to right quickly, just honor him. And you know, he had a big impact on this football program. Adam, you said this other night on the call-in show, Vince Dooley is Georgia football.
That's right, Clark. For those who did not watch our call-in show, it is on YouTube, it's on Facebook, and you want to hear Vince Dooley tribute, wondering why we hadn't mentioned it already. We really went into a big opening spiel Friday night right after the news came out. And of course, prayers to Barbara and the family, man, and you know, a life that was lived well.
Yeah.
Lived well. And like you said, Clark, he is Georgia football, man. He is Georgia football. So you know, we went over some of the accolades, Coach Dooley, what he meant, some memories and stuff during that call-in show. If that interests you and you didn't get to see it, go back to YouTube and check it out.
Yeah, you can find it there. Hopefully, we'll get the Redcoats spelling out Dooley's name and
we'll get
paying tribute.
Yeah,
that will be awesome. It'll be a very emotional moment in Sanford.
Environment.
Yeah. Hey, this is the second time, I think I have this right, the second time in AP poll history, Adam, that two SEC teams ranked number 1 and number 2 have met in the regular season. Yes, the only other time would have been LSU versus Bama in 2011. That was the first time.
Wow, 9-6. You think this one's going to be 9-6?
It's going to be polar opposite.
Yeah, I believe too. Good point, Clark. Yeah, man, and I remember the hype. Even as a Georgia fan, you remember the hype from that over a decade ago. The game of the century, right? This is the game of the century too, man. So that puts it into perspective of what this is. What's going to happen in Athens, folks, is going to be complete pandemonium. If you're just planning on going out there just to be a part of it all, everybody needs to get out there early. Everybody needs to get rowdy. Whatever it takes to get rowdy, baby. Get out there early, and get out there and be excited and savor in the day, Clark, of what it's going to be, man. This is going to be 10 times bigger than what Notre Dame was in 2019. I do, because there's a lot. I mean, obviously there was a lot on the line then, a big game, but this is against a rival, man. This is for the SEC East, because you're not winning the SEC East if you don't win this football game, Clark.
Either team, yeah.
Either team, man, this is for it. Everything is here. This is what it's all about. So it's time to let it rip. It's time to burn the boats. Don't come back. Don't come back. Adam. When you're going there, you don't come back, baby.
That's right. That's exactly what Kirby said,
baby.
In the last big game.
It's all on the line, baby.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Burn the freaking boats.
Burn the boats.
Burn the boats.
Georgia is currently an 8-point favorite. That number I would assume, is going to shift throughout the week. I think it opened as a 13-point favorite, Adam.
Yeah.
That number's come down.
That was steep.
That was very steep. But hey, maybe Vegas knows something we don't know.
Oh yeah, man. I don't know, man. That's very interesting. So,
the last time Tennessee started a season 8-0 was 1998. We all know what happened that year.
Oh,
they ended up winning a national championship with Phil Fulmer.
Yeah, man. I mean, if I was a Tennessee fan, I'd be flying high too, especially after the irrelevant century that they've had, really, since, I don't know, about 01. Maybe you could argue, I guess, 04. They were a pretty decent team. 07, I feel like they kind of backed into that SEC championship appearance. So hadn't been to Atlanta since 2007, 15 years ago. So I'd be excited too if I was them, and they have a right to be. It's a good football team, man. But hopefully they're walking into a Hornets nest Saturday. They are walking into a Hornets nest Saturday.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna get to that. Hey, Georgia has given up an average of 10.5 points this season. That means we're second in the nation scoring defense. Tennessee has scored an average of 49.4 points this season. They're first in the nation scoring offense. Yeah. Adam, something has to give in this football game.
I love it, Clark. This is what I love. And when it comes to football, what I live for, Clark, is I live for good defensive football, baby. That is what gets you jacked up and excited. Yeah. Is when you get to go up against good offense, man, and you get the chance to shut them down with good defense, man. Because what people have forgot in college football and in the world today is that you got to play defense. People just forget about defense
at all levels.
These days, man.
At all levels.
I'm excited to see how Georgia attacks this Tennessee offense, man. You know, Kirby Smart lives for this, man. He's excited about that whole defensive staff is. I'm excited, and I'm fired up and happy too that, hey, we got Tom Monken and the Georgia offense that if guns get to blazing, we get to get in the shootout, baby, we can run with them in the shootout, and I like Georgia's chances to get a couple more stops and what their defense is.
And, Adam, that's a great point. You know, there's a lot of times in the past, I think back to 19 LSU, I think back to 20 Alabama. I even think back to, but anyway, those two games stand out to me, 19 LSU and then 20 Bama. Yeah. We had the defense. We definitely had the defense to play with those boys.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily have the offense. But this year, it's different. We got
point,
both units.
Great point.
Hopefully that helps us. But, man, something's got to really give here.
Yes. Yes.
And hopefully Tennessee's offense wavers a little bit this week. They've looked amazing. I mean, truly, we got to give them their credit. They have been on fire.
I agree, Clark, man. And they have been. Josh Heupel is a guy who it's amazing what he is doing. I mean, we would be. It wouldn't be right to give him the credit that he deserves.
Right.
And I told you this, Clark. There's not any of those coaches out there that you truly just hate, like, in a sense that you did Dan Mullen, like, no respect whatsoever for.
Butch Jones.
He did with, like, Jeremy Pruitt, Butch Jones, Dan Mullen, just Jeff Collins, easy to hate. Just easy to dislike. Josh Heupel's a guy who, I mean, of course you dislike him and you're going to poke at him because he's a Tennessee head football coach, but when it gets down to it, you really can't say anything bad about the guy. In my opinion, from what just outside looking in, he looks like he carries himself well, and he has obviously done a heck of a job with his football team, man, and the buy-in and just a depleted roster on probation, in some sense, some scholarships removed, I think, maybe.
Probably.
I think, some violations or stuff that they've got going on and what they've done, because Jeremy Pruitt sure didn't make it that this team is at where it's at, man. It's all been Josh Heupel, utilizing the transfer portal and everything else, man. So I can't wait to talk about this offense and what Georgia has to do to win this game. So when are we going to break down?
Well, we're just kind of talking here. I mean, it's kind of a whatever comes up, comes up. No.
Like, do you want to start breaking down how we need, or you want to say what we need to start doing to break down Josh Heupel's Tennessee offense?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker, Clark, is a guy who is Stetson Bennett's age, man. He's 57 years old. As a guy who's been around a lot. But now, in all seriousness, he's like 24, 25 years old, man. A guy who has played a lot of football, a guy who is fit just right for Josh Heupel's system. I truly feel like, Clark, this Tennessee offense is a very gimmicky offense, but it's not gimmicky when you get the right person to run it.
Sure.
Because what they're going to try to do, Clark, is get you going fast. Obviously, we've seen this in the game the past 10 years. This is more of a Art Briles type, old school Baylor RG3 type offense of really getting in line, running and play every, 2 or 3 seconds, man, and then trying to create some confusion, trying to gas you. It's the complete opposite of the ground and pound playing bully ball.
Right.
This isn't bully ball. I don't think they're going to out physical you.
Sure.
I don't think Tennessee's going to out physical you.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna try to wear you out and try to have more stamina than you, and then they're gonna take some shots and hit you with some shots, man. And I feel like what you got to do, Clark, I think what they've gotten somebody, and look, they did against Alabama all day with the Hyatt kid, Jalen Hyatt, and they did against Kentucky as well, Clark, is the confusion in the secondary that they get. Is they get guys matched up one-on-one with safeties with posts, and then there's guys streaking down the sidelines that just wide open, man.
Yeah.
Wide open because there's no safety help over the top, and they're very good at that. And Hendon Hooker is a guy who obviously is a dual threat guy, somebody who can get outside the pocket, can make something happen. And what you have to do, Clark, I feel like number one is having 88 there is huge this week. You got to get pressure up the middle, disrupt him and make him roll out. And when you're making him roll out and scramble, keep him behind the line of scrimmage, keep him contained. Don't let him be comfortable. Don't let him have time to let these downfield routes develop. First and foremost, is you stop the running game. Tennessee is big on getting that running game going, and then that opens up the more explosiveness too, man. They could kill you on both sides, man. So, and there's always on the defense that stop the run first. Stop the run first, man, and pressure and make Hendon Hooker make quick decisions, man. Make him make quick decisions, and I think that's where you got to do it. You got to, I think, but that inside penetration up the middle is what you got to do, is get him up comfortable, not let him stand in the pocket and step up, and especially get the ball deep downfield and guys behind the third level. I think when you get them in the red zone, Clark, the field is shortened, so I think that limits some of their explosiveness. Obviously, is if they do get in there, you bend but don't break, and heck, you let them get 3 points, man.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, you got to get 7.
I think, man, look, Tennessee's going to get theirs this week.
Absolutely.
Anybody who thinks that Georgia's going to hold them to under 14 is crazy or super
delusional.
confident.
I think that's delusional. I'd love to eat crow on that, but I think that's delusional.
But yeah, I mean, it's almost, man, you almost need a 12th player out there on the field to cover everything. What they do is, and we talked about this last year, this is nothing new to Kirby Smart or anybody, but they extend the field so much. I mean, they've got guys literally from one sideline and another on the other sideline. And that's a lot of yards for our secondary to cover. I think you're going to see a lot of, obviously, nickel and dime packages, getting 5 safeties, 6 safeties on the field. I mean, or not safeties, but, defensive backs, guys who can cover and who are fast. There's not going to be time for substitution. You've got to play this game fast defensively. You got to play at their pace. But on the flip side, and we've said this, a good defense is a good offense.
That's right, Clark. But going back with their offense, Clark, is what makes them so good is Hendon Hooker's ability to run it, how effective they are, and how disciplined they are. That they are everybody's good is a well-oiled machine, man, and that is how these type of offensive schemes and systems work, is when you have the right guys in place, and Hendon Hooker's perfect for it. They're good at what they do. Everybody's on sync and know what they're doing, and they are built to wear you down, lull you to sleep, and then knock you out, lights out, so you have to be defensively on top of your game, Clark.
Right.
And I love nothing more than that. I don't think this is a game, Clark, that you can sit back and you could rush 3 every down and sit back and try to play that. I think you're going to have to send guys, Clark. You're going to have to take chances. But the good thing is, to get pressure, I don't think Georgia has to just run all these crazy type blitz, man. I thought the push was good. I think, hopefully get a good push. Like I said, get some inside penetration, disrupt Hendon Hooker's timing, and make them roll out, make them scramble, put pressure on them, and get them in 3rd and long situations, Clark. Get them in 3rd and long situations where that crowd could be jacked up in his ear, man, and get them ready to go. Get them ready to go. See, let them see something that he's never seen before, Clark.
Yeah. Tennessee's offense, going back to them, I mean, we're going to praise them. Look, they have been really, really good, and I hate to admit it, but they have. Look, they get 15.8 yards per complete pass. That's a first down and a half.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I mean, what's crazy is they've done it a lot. The big receiver that you heard was Cedric Tillman,
right?
Who's been hurt most of the year. He's going to be there. On my knowledge, I don't think he got hurt against Kentucky game, so he's going to be there. And there's threats on the outside, man. It's time for the secondary to eat, baby. This is what I love. This defense has got to step up. What Georgia football, what the standard, what Kirby Smart football is to win this game is going to be having to get some stops. But you said it right, Clark. If anybody who expects to really limit this Tennessee team offensively, I'm confident in Georgia's defense ability to get more stops against Tennessee's offense than I am Tennessee's defense getting more stops against Georgia's offense.
Yeah.
That keep in mind with Georgia's offense not turning over the football, Clark.
Right.
What we talked about, you cannot turn over the football like you did in Jacksonville and expect to win this football game. I guarantee you, if Georgia turns the ball over 3 times, if there's 2 interceptions and 1 fumble, they will not beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't get any takeaways. The defense, we need to get some takeaways, Clark.
I agree.
Need to get some takeaways, man.
It really seems like we haven't been getting a lot this year. No, not a lot of fumbles, not a lot of picks. Yeah. I don't know.
But I surprised you by telling you, though, offensively, doesn't it seem like we've turned the ball over a lot this year offensively?
Yeah.
Would it surprise you if I told you that we actually, to this point of the season, have turned the ball over on offense fewer times than we did this point of the season last year?
Really?
By 1.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That is amazing.
But I don't think we're getting as many takeaways. Now, I don't have any stats or numbers on that, but I don't think we're getting the takeaways like we had.
So that's the margin is what you're saying.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
margin. Yes, the margin, though, that I think so I don't know, man. I think that's something that you gotta do. And Carl, we talk about this, that you have to play to a certain standard to beat Tennessee now, but you don't ever factor Tennessee's got to, I think we're just saying that Tennessee's going to play perfect. Hendon Hooker's not going to make a mistake. He's not going to make a bad pass. If you bust cover, every route's going to be perfect. They're never going to have any false starts with a just raucous crowd. They're never going to put themselves in a bad position. I think that's kind of the stuff that we've been
that's the narrative. And hey, Adam, I love it.
I love it too,
I want the media. I want Takeo Spikes and Chris Dorian and all these guys. I want them to keep feeding the narrative.
Absolutely.
That Tennessee is on the map, baby. Do it. Because you know what? It's happened to us. And the times that we've come in and gone into other stadiums with that kind of mindset, we've gotten beat.
Right. That's right, Clark. That's right, man. But I'm in full confidence of how this Georgia team's prepared. They've had these moments before Tennessee. This is the biggest game that they've had in years and years and years, man. And especially on the road. And it's going to be a hostile environment that they've never seen before. This particular group of guys has never seen before. An 11 a.m. Central kickoff in Baton Rouge against a rebuilding first-year head coach. With a rebuilding first-year head coach is not going to be the same as 3:30 in Athens against a 1-number versus 2 matchup this particular time. And I'm not saying, obviously, LSU is a hostile environment, but that particular scenario is not as hostile or even close to what Saturday will be.
All right, so I have some advantages that Georgia has over Tennessee. I have a bullet point list, and Adam, that is one of them. This is Tennessee's first true road game. And I know they've played LSU, like you just mentioned, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. That doesn't give people enough time to get rowdy. We'll just put it that way. And at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, the stadium was not even close to being full.
And they barely won that game.
And overtime.
And overtime. Right? And I don't even think Pittsburgh's starting quarterback was healthy.
No, he wasn't. Yeah. Sanford Stadium, baby, will be rocking this Saturday.
Rocking, baby. Rocking. Oh, it'll be electric. I can't. It gives me chills to think about just the fever pitch that's going to be just that whole afternoon, the buzz from the morning till at night, man. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a rowdy environment. It is not a family game, folks. This is not a family game. I guarantee you there will be a lot of unfriendly banner between Georgia and Tennessee fans. Georgia fans, of course, are going to be very emotionally high. Tennessee fans, of course, are going to be just on a cloud. They're going to be paying a lot of money to get in that stadium, the ones who do. And it's going to be electric.
Yeah. They're going to step into an anthill, too. That's what I want to say.
I like instead of going into a hornet's nest, baby, that they're stepping into an anthill.
They think they're this giant, and Adam, I've stepped in an anthill before, and it hurts.
A fire anthill, baby.
Oh, a fire anthill, and they just nip at you and bite you.
It's going to be big, baby. It's going to be big. So, I don't know. I got a good feeling about it. I really do.
So that's certainly one advantage we have. This is I mean, they're not going to experience anything like Sanford Stadium this Saturday. And hey, for people who say the crowd noise doesn't make a difference, that is so untrue. Just ask Alabama.
That's right. That's right. I always say, I think having this game at Sanford Stadium, 7 points.
Oh, I like it.
7 points. I feel like it is. To me, it is at least. So,
another advantage we have is we just had a bye week. And I know that was before the Florida game. But, Adam, that's when you install those offensive packages, those wrinkles. You work on those things for Tennessee.
Right.
And the timing of the bye week really does help. I mean, yes, we were focusing on Florida. Yes, we wanted them to be more prepared, more focused for Florida. But at the same time, you 100% work on Tennessee's offense during that time.
This coaching staff and have been working on Tennessee's offense for
long before bye week.
But you're exactly right, man. So, yes, you have. They're familiar with it. I guarantee you they're one of the most prepared on what to do. It's just going out there and execute, man. It's going out there and execute. It's going to be all about these young guys. We're talking about stepping up, man. And really these guys just having somebody out there, make sure they're in the right alignment, man. Make sure they're doing their job as in the secondary, not getting – because they're going to try to do some stuff and really pick on some guys and a lot of cross routes and stuff that we don't need any blown coverage, the easy sevens that they could get, man. Like what happened last week. You know, Tennessee fans in Tennessee, they're licking their chops seeing some of the secondary play and the tackling from last Saturday night. But get that out of your system, man. Be disciplined and know your assignment. Keely Ringo's going to have a big game. Clark, a guy, if he gets one-on-one on the outside, can't gamble as much as I feel like he's doing this year with trying to leap at the ball and getting the receivers behind him, especially with no safety help over the top. Got to have good angles, man. Got to be disciplined. Just knock the football down, Clark. And the thing is, though, but you have got to pressure Hendon Hooker, and you got to allow him not to beat you with his legs, of course, but you have to be able to not let him sit back all day and then put pressure on that secondary to just continue coverage for a large amount of time. Yeah. But the big thing, Clark, first and foremost, is not going to be able to allow them to run the football.
Yeah. I don't think people understand. I mean, Tennessee can run the football too.
They can. It's not just just throw it down. They can gas you, man. So don't allow them to gas you and have that advantage on you then.
Right.
And make Hendon Hooker beat you.
Yes.
Let him have his Heisman moment. Let him see if he can have his Heisman moment, Clark. This is for Hendon Hooker's Heisman right here. We'll see. We'll see. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Here's another advantage Georgia has.
Wait.
Tennessee is one of the most penalized teams in the nation, Adam.
Yes, they are.
They are ranked 122nd with an average of 8.4 penalties per game. They're also ranked super low in the nation with the most penalty yardage. So not only are they committing a lot of penalties and mistakes, but the yards are adding up for them.
Yes.
So hopefully in this game they're going to have a lot of false starts.
Yes.
A lot of miscommunication. on the offense side of the football.
That's right.
So
That's right, Clark. We'll see, man. I'm excited about it. And one thing, too, Clark, Tennessee defensively, man, I think we're going to have to throw the football. And when you talk about, yes, to beat them, you want to play. You want to control the tempo of the game, Clark.
Yeah.
You want to be able to control the tempo of the game, keep it at your pace, not get into a shootout. But you can, I feel like, if you have to. But the thing is, I think Tennessee has a more stout running defense than they do a passing. I think they're like in the top 10 run defense, but they're in the bottom half of the passing defense. So I think you're going to utilize it with more getting guys outside. Kenny McIntosh swing passes, quick screens on the outside, making that kind of your running game instead of more so between the tackles. But hey, what I saw in Jacksonville, especially in that second half, they're ready to eat, baby. Yeah. So if you can establish that run game and run the freaking football and not turn the ball over, Clark, you're setting yourself up good to control time of possession, eat up clock, and like you just said, a good defense is a good good offense. No, good defense is good offense, baby. Get some of these.
Or vice versa, too.
No, that's right.
I think it might be interchangeable.
Because you're keeping them off the field with a good offense, so you're not allowing them to score, so therefore it's a good defense, right?
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. Adam, look, we've played in these games before. This is nothing new to us, okay?
That's right.
Our coaches have coached these games. I mean, Kirby, you think about it, that man has coached so many high-pressure games.
Sir.
He's seen this. This is not new to him.
That's right. No, it ain't. No, it ain't, Clark. No, it ain't.
I think you can't really say that about Josh Heupel yet.
No.
In the future, maybe.
Yes,
but
no.
Yet,
but no.
I don't know.
But no. Nah.
Man, and look, I'm not saying that wins you or loses you football games, but that certainly helps.
It helps.
And how you translate that to your players, that counts. I think.
Oh, yeah,
the preparation for how you approach this kind of a football game. I don't think, look, Kirby, there's a lot of hype around this football game, and there has been for weeks. And honestly, people will go back and they'll watch this game, and they'll look at it, and they'll say this was a monumental football game. But Kirby is going to keep these guys focused. It's just another game for them.
That's right, baby. You focus on Georgia. You don't focus on everything they're hearing you about in Tennessee. You do your job. You do what you've been coached to do. You step up and you have a game. You have a game, especially on the defensive back end, man. You got to have a game. You have to be disciplined. Don't shoot yourself in the foot with penalties. Don't turn the ball over, and Georgia will be fine. If Georgia plays to its standard and limits the mistakes that they had in Jacksonville, not shoot themselves in the foot with dumb penalties, drive extenders per se, and don't turn over the football or give them extra possessions, Georgia will win this football game without a doubt. Yeah. Obviously, yes, Georgia could lose this football game. It's the biggest test of the year. Yeah. It absolutely is. Not going to say that, not going to be delusional, say that they can't, but I believe in Georgia's best standard of play will win this football game, Clark.
Love it. Keys to the game right quick. Well, you've already touched on two of these. Run the football. Adam, I think the team who has the most running yards will win this football game.
Yep.
That's just what I want to go ahead and say on record.
That's right.
The last time I said that was in the national championship. I turned to my buddy McKay. I said, McKay, if we come out in the second half and we have more rushing yards than Alabama does, we'll win.
We'll win this football game. That's
maybe it was a coincidence, but maybe not.
That's right.
So run the football, obviously. Gotta control the pace of the game.
Yep.
Protect the football at all costs. Do not fumble.
That's right.
Dejan, God bless him, man. Last week, there was a time, I mean, it was just bobbling as he was carrying it. You got to tuck that thing.
Can't have that, baby.
But he knows that better than I do.
Yes,
and hey, the most important key to the game, Adam, play all four quarters.
That's right, Clark.
Play all 4 quarters. And Georgia and Kirby Smart knows that if you don't, you get beat.
That's it.
So better than anybody else in the nation.
That's it, Clark. So quick review on it, man. Offensive side of the football, like you said, establish the run game. Jump on them early. Control the tempo. Control the pace of the game, man. And don't shoot yourself in the foot on penalties. Defensive side of the football, get some pressure on Hendon Hooker, make him up comfortable, especially in the interior front, getting penetration and be able to roll out, contain them, but to roll out, make them make quick decisions, get them on 3rd and long, get some stops. Bend but don't break. Hey, if you get them inside the red zone, make them get 3. Let them get 3 instead of 7. On the flip side, go score when you have a chance to get 7. Get some takeaways. Win the turnover margin, baby, and play good, sound special teams ball. Nothing free on special teams, no muff punts or anything like that. Georgia will win this football game, Clark.
That's right.
Stop the run, baby.
Okay. Boom. Hey, this is going to be a monumental football game. Adam, we may tell our grandkids about this.
This was huge. Game of the century, part 2, baby. This is the biggest game in college football regular season in more than a decade, Clark. And we're so happy that the good Lord's blessed us for it to be in Athens, Georgia. There's not a finer place in this world that it could be in, man. The hoopla, everything, the national attention. Clark, when you have this national attention, after winning a national championship, all eyes in the college football world, the world, and this whole entire universe is going to be in Athens, Georgia on Saturday, Clark. What an opportunity, man.
What an
opportunity. What an opportunity to have. Go take advantage of it. Capitalize on it, baby. And, Clark, let's talk about it, man. Kirby Smart tweeted out today, if you're going to that football game, and you still have a voice after you leave, you didn't yell loud enough.
That's right.
That means you did not do your job. We talk about fans, being a fan. That's old Coach Kirby right there telling us what we need to do. I'm going to do it. You're going to do it. I want everybody to be loud and rowdy. I want everybody to just put their pride to a side on Saturday. Act like an idiot out there.
Undignified.
Who cares? Yell, just scream, get passionate about this football team, man. Get excited because it's going to be great.
Maybe we need some cowbells out there. We need some artificial. Hey, we need some beans, lima beans in the plastic bottles.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, Adam, I'm going to give you my score prediction, and then you're going to give me yours, and you're going to end this show on a high note. You ready?
All right. Give it to us,
Adam, this is going to be a good football game. It's going to be close. I don't want it to be close. But Adam, and right quick, I do have this feeling. I have got two feelings here, and I don't know which one to decide with yet. It's either going to be Arkansas last year. We're going to boat race them, which I really don't think it's going to be that. No. Or it's going to be a close Dogs win. Give me the close Dogs win. 38-34. Dogs on top. Woo! We stay alive. We're in the hunt. We control our own destiny from here on out, and we make it to Atlanta.
I love it, Clark. This was for Atlanta. This was for the season right here to repeat. You have got to win this football game, Clark. We've touched on it. Going to be the biggest game in Sanford Stadium history. They started playing football in 1929 against the Yale Bulldogs in Sanford Stadium, Clark. We're lucky to be able to witness this. I don't care if you were at home, if you're at Sanford Stadium, if you're in Athens, just being around. Get excited about this football game. This is why here in the Southeast, here in the state of Georgia, we love college football. It's for these moments right here. You don't get many of them. Take advantage of it. Hang out with friends and family and get excited. Talk about it this week. Call an old friend that you hadn't seen in a while that loves football and break it down with him, man, and get excited about what's in store because this is huge. Like we said, national spotlight is going to be on us. You know what that means, Scott? It's the whole nation needs to know that this program is the best in the country, that Kirby Smart has elevated this program to a place where there's no question that it is the most elite program in this nation with a trajectory that nobody else is touching, man. Athens, Georgia is going to be, after this weekend, named one of the most hostile environments in Sanford Stadium, baby.
That's right.
It is time to let Tennessee know what relevancy looks like.
I love it.
It is time to welcome them to the show, baby, because it is time for grown man football to be played in Sanford Stadium. Sound defensive football. Defense still wins championships, Clark.
Let's go.
Get a few stops. Roll on offense, baby. Burn the boats. We're not coming back. Georgia's going to win this football game. Lose your voice Saturday night, Clark. Georgia's going to win this football game 45-35. We're going to be partying in Athens Saturday night. It's time, baby. Get some rest this week because we're going to need you home or in that stadium. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Oh, that was a good one.